Okay, so what we're going to start with first is the rate of speech. So for a self-introduction speech, you don't want to talk too fast because people will start to lose track of who you're talking to, what you're talking about. They won't be able to keep up with the subjects. You don't want to talk too fast because then people won't understand what you're saying. You want them to understand what you're saying about yourself. Unless in case you don't, then you could talk really, really fast. Next is eye contact. Eye contact is very important to keep. You want to keep eye contact with the audience at all times, because if they think, oh, well, I'm just going to pull out my DS or my iPhone or some stupid electronic that is portable, because he's not watching me, and who cares? I mean, he could care less. I'm not even listening. That's not a good thing to do, because then they'll lose attention, they'll start to ignore you. Next, you want to work on your posture, how you sit. If you're going to be sitting, you want to keep your back straight and head nice and not very bouncy. You see me, I hunch over, I kind of do this. No. But yeah, that's a big thing. Next is non-verbal fillers. I have a problem with non-verbal fillers. Words like and so and like and stuff like that, those are verbal fillers. That's because our minds do not like silence very well, so it finds whatever it can to fill in silence. And in my case, it's the word I use it a lot. So next we're going to be working on memorization. What you want to do for memorization is you want to read your speech, what you have written up, over and over and over again. Something that I do is I read it paragraph by paragraph, memorizing one at a time, and then the next one, and then the next one. And then once I have 3 done, then I'll go and I'll read all 3 of them at the same time, 3 times, and then I'll try to say it without looking at the paper. That makes it pretty difficult. I know that for beginners, like myself, it's not very easy to memorize things. I'm not a big reader. I play video games more than I do this. And so that's something to work on. Next, you want to work on gestures. Stuff you do, hand movements, head movements, tilting from left to right, walking around the room, stuff like that. Those are gestures. You want to work on those because it keeps your audience looking at you, because their eyes are going to be following whatever's moving on screen or whatever's moving in front of them. And it just so happens you're in front of them. Next you want to do is interaction. Interaction is a big thing. So something huge that I would highly recommend doing is ask a question at the beginning of your speech. So for this example speech I addressed them, so I said, good evening, and then next I started with a question. I said, now let me ask, how many of you have clocked in 10 plus days worth of playtime into video games overall? And so for that, I give them the option of they can either verbally say yes, or they can raise their hand and be all like, yeah, I did it, yeah, I'm a no life gamer. And so what I have is I have 2 different answers to their responses. If they all say no, then I'm all like, darn, I thought I was in here with some gamers. And then if they say yes, then I say, awesome, all gamers united. And then after that, I answered my own question that I was referencing to just now. What I did was I asked a question, so I said, raise your hand if you've clocked in 10 or more days worth of playtime into video games overall. And then I have a response to what they say, and then after that, I have an answer for my own question. This will make sure that they don't think the answer, or they don't think that the question went unanswered. You're giving an answer to the question that you asked, giving them kind of like an example as to what they should have said. So that's big. Next thing you want to work on is attire. How you're dressed, what you're wearing, clothes-wise. You want to make sure that your face is clean. You don't want to walk in looking like a hobo in rags, you know, that's not all that cool. Something you can do to help memorize the speech is note cards. So write the first, second, and third topic, because that's usually how many are in self-introduction speeches. And then after that, once you have the notes ready, you are going to put the topics on them. So let's say that my first topic would be gaming. All I would put is maybe the first couple of the words for some of the sentences. Maybe if I lose track, then I can look at it and it says sentence 1, it would be, I am a professional gamer. I'm a skilled, highly skilled gamer. And so, looking at that, I could improvise. I could say, I'm a professionally, highly skilled gamer. I've clocked in countless days worth of playtime, and then such and such. A big thing, though, that you want to watch out for is not taking too long in between sentences. So let's say this. Let's say I were to say, I've logged over 80 days worth of playtime, which is around 2,000 hours. I am addressed as McKinley. You see, that space was way too long. They'll be all like, is it over? He's not talking. What do we do? So they'll lose attention. They won't be watching you because they'll think, oh, it's over. Clap. No. You don't want to have too long of spaces, but then again, you don't want to have too short of spaces. Here's another example. I've logged over 80 days worth of playtime, which is around 2,000 hours. I am addressed as McKinley Dozier. That's something you don't want to say, because then you're not giving time in between sentences for them to calculate what you just said. That's not good to do, because then they forget what you just said, and then they forget what you said in the future, and they keep forgetting what you're saying. You don't actually prove a point if they're forgetting every single thing you say. Next thing you want to work on is how long your speech is. Normal speeches will last around 3 to 4 minutes. I find that's around maybe 500 to 1,000 words, maybe close to that. Sometimes it's 200 if you drag it out. I know that the one that I have, it's only around 300 words long, and it's a 2-minute speech, and it fills up an entire sheet of paper. I can say it really easily. So I could say, good evening. Now let me ask, raise your hand if you've clocked in 10 or more days worth of playtime into video games. Oh, you have? That's cool. Gamers United. I've logged over 80 days worth of game time, and which is around 2,000 hours. I am addressed as McKinley. I am a professional, highly skilled gamer. I consider myself to be one of the best in my town that I can know of, and that's a big thing. Make sure that you're addressing your own skills along with the profession that you wish to go into. So in mine, I expect to go into the United States Air Force. That's one of my goals for life, is where I'm going in the future once I'm done being a child. I want to go into the Air Force because Air Force is cool. What I listed was this. I expect to go into the United States Air Force when I turn 17, which is about 1 year from now, because I would probably be good military material since I have a lot of experience with electronics and troubleshooting. I'm listing my skills, and I'm listing the profession of which I want to put those skills to. Something else that you could do is say, give an example of what you would want to go into. So let's say for the military, there's a lot of different careers in the Air Force. So the one that I put is, I'll probably go into Air Force Communications, or if I can't do that, then my second option would be a JAG, which stands for Judge Advocate General. They're basically the legal side of the military, and I would probably be a legal advisor. See, that's listing your skills, that's listing the profession you want to go into, that's listing what you're going to be doing, hopefully, and it's giving a second option to what you could do. Make sure you always put more than one option, because if they think, oh, this guy's got one dream, wow, gonna go far with that, aren't you, kid? No, you wouldn't go very far with that. And you want to have around 3 topics. So the first one I put is gaming, second one I put is exercise, and the third one I put is military. I kind of went out of order saying the military first. And then, this is what I said for the gaming. I said, I've actually started a gaming community on March 4th called the Fire Gaming Community on Xbox Live. And since we have gotten 25 people joined and registered on the roster, they've also signed, I've written a code of conduct, a recruitment speech, and a contract. And then I ended the sentence. I'm going to start a new sentence. And so what I'm going to say is, I wrote the contract because I'm giving an answer to something I listed earlier. I'm giving reference for this sentence to that sentence. And so something that you could do is you could keep going with it. Just it's really easy for words to flow. So I wrote the contract because the Communities Administrators Council, which consists of myself and a few of the most reliable and trustworthy members we have decided that in order to allow our numbers to grow, we need to expand. So I've been tasked to finding other gaming communities and offer them a partnership treaty or a contract in which we offer them this. We will go and recruit members for them as long as they do the same for us. So both communities would be recruiting for each other while themselves. So that's something that I put. And then I ended that topic. I'm not going with that topic anymore. I'm done with video game stuff. Next, I move it on to exercise. I wrote for exercise, I am. Okay, you always want to start them out with I am, because that's saying that I'm starting a new sentence. I have already started a new sentence. The other one is over. I'm changing the subject. It says all those things in 2 words, which is I am. And so what I did was I put, I am into exercising just as much as I am into gaming, referencing a past topic, so that they remember what you had said about that. And then I put, I take physical fitness very seriously, and I hope to start competing in CrossFit tournaments when I turn 21. I'm giving a goal for this topic, so what I wish to go into, and an age of when I want to do it. It makes them feel smarter to know when and what you're going to be doing. It's the more information the better, but you don't want to make it too long. So next thing I did was, the most I've ever deadlifted was 235 pounds. I'm putting an achievement right here in this subject, something that I've done that I'm proud of doing and I'd like to share it with you. That builds more of a connection between the speaker and the audience. And then I said, and the longest I've ever worked out without stopping was 1 hour and 30 minutes in a non-stop, no-break workout. And since there were over 10 people in the class, I knew I had to do the best. I'm stating that I like to win, so I'm saying, also I'm stating that I like exercise a lot, enough to go 1 hour and 30 minutes without a break, without stopping. That's another achievement, that's another goal, that's another thing that they're going to take as information, and it's referencing the exercise part of the topic. And so it's keeping them intertwined with it. It's keeping them going. The third topic that I put is the military topic, and this is what I wrote. I said, I expect. So I didn't say I am. I said, I expect to go. That means that I know I'm not in it now. I know that I could be going in another direction, but I would like to go in this direction. That's giving them an idea of what you're going to be doing. So I said, I expect to go into the United States Air Force when I turn 17, which is at about 1 year from now. And so, by saying 17 1 year from now, that's giving them a reference to my own age and my goal. That's a thing that you need to intertwine and put it in there. Next thing I said is, 1 year from now, because I would probably be good military material since I have a lot of experience with electronics and troubleshooting. Like I said before, you're listing your skills and what you want to do with them. Next I said, I'll probably go into Air Force Communications, or if I can't do that, then my second choice would be a JAG, which stands for Judge Advocate General. That's stating what I would like to do, and then it's giving a second option of what I can do if I don't get what I like to do. So that's giving 2 options, keeping your horizon open, and they understand that, because nobody lives their dreams to the fullest. Next, I put, they're basically the legal side of the military. So I'm explaining what a JAG is, since it's not a very referent thing. A lot of people don't know what that is, so I'm referencing to what it is by giving a short explanation for it. Next I put, I'd probably become a legal advisor. A legal advisor is part of JAG. There are many different careers in JAG that you can do, but I put legal advisor, and that is my second thing of what I'm going to be doing if I get the second choice. And then, as an end, I briefly stated all my topics. I said, so I'm a skilled, no-lifing gamer. That is referencing the gaming topic, the first topic. Next, I put, I'm also an exerciser. It's referencing your exercising, or my exercising. And then third, I put, a soon-to-be meaning that in the future I will be, or in the future I expect to be, a military communications officer or strong legal advisor. I put the "or" there because I'm listing both careers that I can go into, and that I have already referenced in the past. Next I put "and a decent public speaker," because if you surprise them, if you say something funny at the end, then they'll remember that. They'll think, oh, he didn't state that before, that's new, hey, cool. That's what they'll do. And so that was my entire speech. And so, yeah, you really want to have note cards. Note cards are a big thing, because all you have to do for note cards is you gotta look at them. Topic is on there, maybe a couple words from the first few sentences, just to keep your brain going in case you lose track or in case you sidetrack. Sidetracking is not something you want to do. If you try sidetracking, then they're going to forget what you were originally talking about, and they're going to focus on what you're now talking about. That's something that you got to work on. And so I hope this tutorial helped. I hope my example speech helped. I hope that this video could help you a lot. Give a dislike to show that you actually watched all the way to the end, and thank you for watching.